Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this very special occasion as we recognize and honor the change in leadership of the 126th Air Refueling Wing, Colonel Kevin Jacobs to Colonel Nicolas Henschel. The presiding official for today's ceremony is the Assistant Adjutant General, Illinois Air National Guard, Brigadier General Daniel McDonough. I am Lieutenant Colonel Patrick Burke and will be the narrator for today's ceremony. The change of command ceremony is a military tradition deeply rooted in history and dates back to the time of Frederick the Great of Prussia. During that period, military organizations developed flags unique to their unit with specialized colors and designs. When the soldiers followed their leader into battle, the flag was used to provide a very visible point around which members of the unit could rally during the conflict. To this flag, both commander and soldiers of the unit would dedicate their loyalty, trust, and allegiance. The formal change of command ceremony afforded these troops the opportunity to witness the new leader assuming their dutiful position. Today, the reins of responsibility and leadership for the 126th Air Refueling Wing will pass from Colonel Kevin Jacobs to Colonel Nicolas Henschel. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is the Deputy Wing Commander, Colonel Matthew Cobb. The formation consists of the 126th Operation Group, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Loudon, the 126th Mission Support Group, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Brad Karhoff, the 126th Maintenance Group, commanded by Colonel Timothy Hugel, and the 126th Medical Group, commanded by Colonel Michael Compardo. Ladies and gentlemen, if able, please rise for the arrival of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of the colors, the singing of the national anthem, and today's invocation. It is customary for civilians to place their hand over their heart. For military in uniform, please stand at attention.
Oh, say, can you see my good arms early light? What so proudly waited at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the
Please join with me for a moment of prayer. Almighty God, we ask your blessing today on our change of command ceremony. Lord, we are grateful for the leadership of Colonel Jacobs to stand in the gap, to lead, to guide with depth and wisdom. And as the 126 transitions, bless our new commander, Colonel Henschel, and his family, which is the foundation that empowers him as he carries the torch of the 126 leadership into an unprecedented time of uncertainty in our nation's history. May he be a pillar of strength that is unwavering in the crashing of the waves. May his integrity be a guiding light that shows us the way, reconciling and restoring the diverse relationships in our world. Lord, we strive to be an example of excellence. Help us continue to complete our mission as a standard to the rest. Lord, bless all those who made this day special and all those who may be deployed and in harm's way. We ask all this in the name of the commander of all commanders. Amen.
Thank you, Honor Guard, Technical Sergeant Bislick, and Chaplain Lambert. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. To help recognize the importance of this ceremony, we are joined today by a number of special and distinguished guests. Special guests for Colonel Jacobs are his wife Michelle and their children Master Sergeant Darian Jacobs, Staff Sergeant Erica Jacobs, and Kira Jacobs. Special guests for Colonel Henschel are his parents Charmaine and Ike Lynch, Colonel Henschel's children Lucas, Lexi, Lauren, and Lana, Colonel Henschel's girlfriend, Tegan Reeser, and her son, Harold. Other distinguished guests include Director of Staff, Illinois Air National Guard, Colonel Michael Mahalik, the Commander, 375th Air Mobility Wing, Colonel John Poole, with his wife, Shelley, the Commander, 635th Supply Chain Operations Wing, Colonel Ryan Bakazan, the Deputy Commander, 182nd Airlift Wing, Colonel Ashley Gelman, the Wing Commander, 932nd Airlift Wing, Colonel Jeffrey Smith, the Deputy Commander, 932nd Airlift Wing, Colonel Rick Chadwick, the Command Chief, 635th Supply Chain Operations Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Nick Connor, the Mayor of Belleville, Illinois, Honorable Patty Gregory, National Geospatial Intelligence Agency Senior Executive Kathy Weaver and her husband Mike, National Geospatial Intelligence Agency Senior Executive Dave Schroeder. We'd also like to welcome all commanders, senior leaders, friends, members of the 126th Air Refueling Wing, Scott Air Force Base, Illinois Air National Guard, and the local community. Thank you for joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Daniel McDonough.
Good morning, everybody. For the guests, thanks for showing up on this beautiful November day in southern Illinois. If you're out playing golf or whatever else it is, I think you're going to like what you're going to get to see here. So, this wing has been through a little bit of turmoil the last 10 months. We've had 4 wing commanders. And I want to thank the wing itself, thank members of the 126 for your patience, your professionalism, and your ability to continue to produce the excellence throughout the year. Through all this period, you continued to execute the mission, producing and flying sorties, deploying overseas, participate in countless exercises, perform home station exercises, you dealt with the grounding of the L-35 due to the tail pins, continue to prep for the KC-46. You still maintain the best KC-135 on the planet, the best in the United States Air Force, and you led the state in recruiting. That's an indication of the great leadership at every level of this wing and the airmen that make it up. Thank you for that. You did all this while we were trying to figure out who the wing commander was going to be for. Thank you again. Thanks for what you do, and thanks for doing it so well. I also want to thank Colonel Steve Olson. Steve took over at a very difficult time, about mid-January of 2023. He wasn't officially appointed until the 1st of March. The TAG appointed him on that day, and They immediately filled that leadership gap that the wing had had for a little bit. He started to build his team. He's doing really good moving the wing forward, but he's dealing with a lot of issues. The least of which, probably not the least of which, was his own personal health. Significant health issues. The doc told him at one point, he said, Steve, you got to relieve yourself of some stress or you're not going to make it. And Steve and I discussed that neither one of us were going to go to any funerals. And not trying to be funny, but that it took that kind of discussion with Steve because Steve didn't want to step down because he was afraid that he would let the wing down. And that's the kind of guy that Steve is. But eventually, we both agreed that that was what was best for him and certainly for the wing. So, because it was a health concern and we had to relieve that stress immediately, we had to act immediately. And so, in the middle of May, I called a meeting with Colonel Mahalik, Colonel Jacobs, Colonel Olson, and myself. And everybody in that room, except for Kevin, knew that the result of that was going to be that Kevin was appointed as the wing commander. So I went in there with a pretty good plan. Everybody else knew the plan. Once Kevin found out the plan, Kevin wasn't as excited as everybody else in the room was. But we eventually, Kevin's a very humble guy. And his humility drove to, hey, I can't do this, I'm not a pilot. So we got that covered. I just need you to cover this gap between the time that we're going to announce the job opening and the time that we actually hire the new, ultimately, Nick Henschel. So eventually, he had the same concern. Well, I don't want to let the wing down. I said, Kevin, you're the guy. You're the right guy for the job. So after a little bit of convincing, and after his eyes got a little bit smaller, he decided, we walked out of there, and he immediately took over the wing. And left his comfort zone. And that was not a big surprise to us, because Kevin's done that before. Kevin served as the director of staff at Joint Force Headquarters up in Springfield, and he sacrificed to do that. We all appreciated that. He made that drive every morning, or sacrificed time with his family by getting his crash pad up there and spending those lonely nights up in the cruddy little apartment up there that I've seen that you're lucky you survived. But he did a great job up there, and eventually was asked to come back here as the mission support group commander. And he brought that wealth of experience that he gained while he was at Springfield here back to the wing. And was very successful as the mission support group commander, and then ultimately for the last 6 months keeping the wing going and doing the great things that you guys that I just mentioned. So, Kevin, we appreciate you filling that void and continuing the pursuit of excellence that this wing is going for. That brings us to Colonel Henschel. So, going way back, Colonel Henschel actually graduated from the Merchant Marine Academy and told everybody while he was going there, so I'm not going to do this Merchant Marine stuff, I want to be in the Air Force. So, while he was going through school, he had negotiated several opportunities to go to pilot training in the Air National Guard. He realized that was an opportunity for him, and had, again, based on how well he did in school, the fact that he's a sharp guy, does great things, he had several opportunities. So he tells me he flipped the coin, and Scott won, and did we were lucky to have him. We're lucky that it worked out that way, and again, so once he got here, he excelled, did great things, and worked his way all the way up to being a squadron commander. And ultimately, Nick shared with me that he's an opportunist. And early on, or not that long ago, about 3 years ago, he, not unlike Colonel Jacobs, got out of his comfort zone and went and did something that was completely out of the ordinary for him. He went up and undertook an opportunity at Joint Force Headquarters to be the A3 up there. And at that point, that's where he got promoted to 06. And that's what started this journey. And after about a year and a half of that, he really got out of his comfort zone. He went off to be the commander of the Air Operations Center at Air Operations Group, at the 183rd in Springfield. That's where he gained his 06 command. And throughout all of this, this is what he does with his hobby, and then with his real job at NGA, he's a member of the senior executive staff, senior executive service, and do an incredible job there. And again, thanks to the folks that have joined us here to see this big day for him. So, As we work through this problem that we've had for the last 10 months, I bounced a lot of ideas off several people, and one of which was Nick. And in doing so, I realized that Nick had what it took. Why am I looking beyond Nick at this point? But I didn't want to try to convince Nick to be the wing commander. I'd already done that, and Kevin did a great job with it, but I didn't want to get to the point where I was going to convince somebody to be a permanent wing commander. But I was delighted to hear, as things started to move that way, that Nick did show interest in it, and that Nick had actually applied. And so once we continued that process and tied it all together with his resume, his work ethic, his temperament, and most importantly his love for this wing, made him the obvious choice to serve as your wing commander. So Nick, I want to thank you for stepping up to this challenge. And I look forward to where you're going to take this wing in the future. And I really look forward to working with you. So let's get on with the rest of the ceremony and make it official. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Kevin Jacobs.
Seems like I always have to do a mic check because I'm vertically challenged here. After speaking behind someone who's 6'5", I have to make that small adjustment here. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here today. I would like to welcome all of you here for this great day, and it really is a great day. If you recall, early in the week, it was 30 degrees. We were covering up the plants, bringing the plants indoors, and now it's 60 degrees outdoors. So it is truly a great day. The weather decided to cooperate with us today. I've stood out in formation many times, and so, Colonel Cobb, can you put the wing formation at ease? Thank you. At this time, I would like to thank a few individuals who made this ceremony possible. Major Nancy Redmond and Senior Master Sergeant Lorenz Small, thank you so much for everything that you've done for me and for the wing staff in making this a smooth and seamless transition. I would also like to thank the rest of the workers who have made this possible. Wing staff, CE, COM, Public Affairs. I mean, there's so many people that I can thank. The list is endless. So I just want everybody to know that I understand and appreciate how much effort goes into putting on a ceremony like this, and I thank you for it. To Tech Sergeant Bislick, thank you for that moving rendition of the national anthem. Wherever you are, thank you for that. And to Chaplain Landers, thank you so much for those wonderful words. Really appreciate that. To General McDonough, sir, thank you for the opportunity to lead one of the best air refueling wings in the Air National Guard. I will always be indebted to you for your unwavering faith in my ability to lead and to move the wing forward, and in my ability to achieve our top priorities and to execute each of our 3 mission sets: our nuclear mission, our domestic operations mission, and our state partnership. So thank you again for your support to the wing and your leadership to the state. Colonel Cobb, thank you for your leadership as my deputy commander. Your support and dedication to me and to this wing is second to none. I appreciate your knowledge and wisdom and your dedication to the mission. Thank you, man. Command Chief Rizzo, I'll put you on the spot. She's kind of... Thank you for your support and passion to the enlisted force. It's been a pleasure to work with someone who displays such an enormous amount of care and commitment to our enlisted members. I know you want the best for them when it comes to force development and overall recognition. Chief, thank you. At this time, I would like to acknowledge a few of our distinguished guests in the audience. I know they've been mentioned, but I would like to acknowledge them. We are privileged to have in our midst the Mayor of Belleville, the Honorable Patty Gregory. Thank you for being here. And the Mayor of Shiloh, the Honorable Robert Woolmeister. He's here today. Thank you both for your ongoing support. We appreciate your presence and your partnership with the Guard and with Scott Air Force Base. Thank you. And I do want to also acknowledge the Southwestern Illinois Leadership Council. I think there are 2 members here. So thank you all for being here today, too. At this time, too, I would like to acknowledge some of our mission partners who are with us today. Colonel John Poole, Commander, 375th Air Mobility Wing. Colonel Ryan Bakazan, Commander, 635th Supply Chain Operation Wing. I think I saw Colonel Jeffrey Smith, Commander, 932nd Airlift Wing, and Colonel Rick Chadwick, Deputy Commander of the 932nd Airlift Wing. Leaders, we have collaborated and supported one another with numerous base-wide initiatives and established a firm foundation of trust and communication. Our individual and collective efforts have helped ensure the success of the overall mission objectives here at Scott Air Force Base. Your interaction with us and the wing have been stellar, and we look forward to continuing the relationship forged by each of your predecessors. Thank you all for your support. I would like to take just a few minutes to highlight some of the key accomplishments of this past year from the outstanding men and women of the 126th Air Refueling Wing. You have persevered during challenging times in our wing's history and have not missed a beat. We have continued to unite and perform at the highest level through changes in leadership and work demands. You have remained steadfast and delivered when asked to support countless engagements. For example, this May, many of you participated or supported the Scott Air Force Base Air Show, and then later, in August, our pilots performed in the Chicago Air and Water Show and in the Poland Air Show. Knowing how important recruiting is, you hosted a recruiting educator flight and a massive recruiting event in the main hangar for the local high school students, which produced several new recruits. Additionally, in August, you participated in a recruiting event hosted by the 183rd Air Wing and one hosted by the 375th Air Mobility Wing, where our recruits presented the opportunities and benefits offered by the Illinois Air National Guard. Job well done. And also during this year, you have demonstrated exceptional readiness skills in your performance in exercises such as Northern Strike, where you performed 8 missions, over 16 sorties, and numerous hot refuels at 4 operating locations. An air defender deployed 2 jets and packs to Yukon AOR for the largest NATO exercise in history, including mass deployment of combat aircraft overseas. And in Copper Arrow, deployed 2 jets and packs to Yukon AOR to execute 603 AOC task missions, integrating with NATO allies to ensure regional stability via ISR. Additionally, during that engagement, you performed 1 training sortie with our state partner Poland, solidifying our relationship with them and showing that we can support them anytime, anywhere. And lastly, in recent months, you all participated in the 81X nuclear exercise and in a readiness exercise. During the nuclear exercise, you displayed your ability to support strategic air command and, when necessary, execute at no-fail mission. And during the readiness exercise, you proved that the men and women of this wing can survive in a contested, degraded, and operationally limited environment. And finally, You won the prestigious Burn War Award at the National Guard Bureau level for making the most effective use of your resources. You excelled in making the most use of your people to achieve your full potential to accomplish the mission. Each and every one of you contributed daily to the success of the mission, and winning this award showcases that. Thank you all for what you do. Now, before I take my seat, I do want to give a special thanks to Colonel Steve Olson. I know you're Montgomery. I do have a few comments, so I do want to give Steve you a special thanks for what you do, your leadership, your mentorship, and your friendship. Colonel Olson was faced with a tough decision to step down as new commander due to serious health issues. Along with his wife Sarah and his medical team, thought it was in the best interest to take time and focus on his medical care necessary to put him back on the path of recovery. During his recovery and treatment, he has continued to make significant contributions to the wing by staying engaged and providing insight and expertise to the wing leadership during the transition. Steve, thank you for your continued support to the wing. And I pray for your success as you continue on your road to recovery. And I would also like to congratulate you on your upcoming retirement, closing out a successful 28-year career. Thank you, Steve. Finally, I know I said finally once before, but finally, I would like to thank my lovely wife, Michelle, my children, Darian, Kiara, and Eric, for your support. Wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for you. Thank you for your sacrifice, your support and sacrifice. Thank you. And to Colonel Henschel, you are about to assume command of the best Air National Guard Refueling Wing. As a wing, we have set the bar very high. Our list of accomplishments and achievements is long, and our commitment to success is strong. You have already hit the ground running with your strategic vision and your goals for your leadership team. With you leading the charge of this powerful military force, the 126th Air Refueling Wing is poised to maintain its position as the best refueling wing in the Air National Guard. Nick, congratulations and good luck. Thank you.
Colonel Jacobs, it has been our great honor to serve under your command. The men and women of the 126th Air Refueling Wing, thank you for your leadership, support, and dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the change of command ceremony. Publish the orders. Attention to orders. Illinois Air National Guard Headquarters, 126th Air Refueling Wing, Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. By order of the Governor of Illinois, Colonel Kevin E. Jacobs is relieved of command of the 126th Air Refueling Wing, and Colonel Nicolas W. Henschel assumes command, effective 1 October 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, 126th Air Refueling Wing, Colonel Nicolas Henschel. Please be seated.
Good morning, everyone. Happy drill. Thank you all for being here. Matt, if you want to put the at ease, please. So I want to say a bunch of thank yous, starting with Joe McDonough, sir. Thank you for your words. Thank you for this opportunity. And Colonel Jacobs, on behalf of the 126, I think I'm allowed to say that right now, right, as a commander, on behalf of us. So on behalf of all of us, thank you for your service, not only to this wing in the state of Illinois, 29 years, I think I read in your bios. That's amazing. And specifically for the last 2 of you did as commander. Thank you for that. From a personal perspective, thank you for your mentorship and your training and your help during this transition phase. Thank you for that. To my CSS and the entire team that worked together to put this event on, I know that it takes a lot of work in order to pull something like this off. And so thank you to all of you. I don't want to say by names because I'm afraid I miss someone, but thank you to everyone for doing this. It is a success today because of you and all the hard work that you've done, so thank you for that. To my family in the front row, all 4 of my kids are here, so that means Grandma got all of them up on Saturday, which is hard to believe. And if you'll all bear with me here, I want to brag on my kids just a little bit. So we got their first quarter report cards earlier this week, and I was looking at them last night, and of all 4 of my kids, I think I counted 30 A's and only 3 B's. So they are rocking it. So if you wouldn't mind, help me, and round of applause for my kids. Any dads in the audience, you know one of our jobs is to embarrass our kids, so I may have overdone a little bit, but that's okay. In all seriousness, I love you guys very much, and I'm very, very proud of you. So, to my mom and dad, Tegan and Harold, thank you for being here. Thank you for your love and support. It means the world to me. And everyone else out here, seated up front, friends, families, neighbors, everyone coming out, thank you for taking a portion of your weekend to come out and celebrate with Kevin and I in the wing on this truly special day. And then finally, thanks to all the airmen, the 26 folks standing in the back. So it's kind of funny, I grew up in this wing, spent 18 years here, and then I went up to Springfield and spent a couple years up there. And I joke that I was like, I left for college and I couldn't find a job, so now I'm coming back home and moving into the basement and here to work with all of you. So I am looking forward to being here. I'm looking forward to coming home, seeing all the friendly faces and meeting all the new faces. So thank you for your warm welcome. So a couple weeks ago, it was TDY, and Jazz was asking me about my new opportunity. Actually, I'm back up. So I saw Kathy and then reminded me. So I wanted to specifically call out NGA and tell you guys about this awesome organization that I was a part of for a long time. So I served with NGA for almost 20 years, and several months ago, when I was talking with Joe McDonough about this opportunity, I went to my boss and I said, hey boss, I've got an option, potential opportunity to come here to the 126 and truly take my dream military job, but it requires me to take leave for 3-4 years from NGA, and he was fully supportive. The fact that they're here today supporting me is just another testament to that organization. So I am really, really looking forward to this position, but I'm also looking forward to finishing that up and then coming back to NGA and moving into a new building with you all. So thank you for being here. Okay, back to my TDY. So Chad Spoonover, I ran into him at TDY and he asked me about my new job. We were both very excited about it, and then he asked me to make sure that I send him my 30-day memo, my recap memo. So if you all don't know what that is, it's kind of a leadership tool where you take a snapshot at the end of your 30 days and capture all of the things that you saw in that first 30 days. So take advantage of that honeymoon period where you're walking in wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, you don't have any preconceived notions or anything like that. That is a perfect opportunity to capture and identify priorities, challenges, things that are really important to the wing. And then throughout your time, you refer back to that memo. And so since today marks 34 days for me in position, I'll just share with you a couple things that I captured on this memo. And Chad will make sure and send it to you. It's a couple days late, but that's okay, I think. So the first week, I received mission briefings from all of your commanders, and they told me about all of the awesome, amazing things that you all do every day, and I was nothing but impressed by the very, very cool missions that we do here at 126, and we're hiring, by the way, so come and join us on that. We identified common challenges and priorities that included things like limited resources across money and manpower, training and urban development and communication. So I hear these as challenges, and I'm going to work with the leadership team, and we're going to get after fixing all of those things. Over October drill, I hosted my first commander's call, laid out my expectations and priorities for the wing, right up front. In addition, we had an outstanding family day, so I was able to meet many of your family members that support us in the things that we do every day. It was an awesome experience. The second week, I ended up at Phoenix Rally, the conference I mentioned earlier, and I heard directly from the 4-star General, General Minahan, our boss's boss, and his priorities, and that was specifically focused on China, right? What we need to do as an organization in order to fight and win in the Pacific. And so that is one of the reasons why I want us all in this uniform. I think we need to be in a warfighter mindset all the time, and especially nowadays, given the things that are going on around the world. My third week in command, I spent at Camp Lincoln with our bosses here in the state, and I heard from General Neely and General McDonough on their priorities, things like domestic operations, state partnership programs, and strength. That week, I also certified 6 aircrew members to accomplish our nuclear mission, number 1 priority mission for our nation, which is very cool to get back immersed into that mission. The fourth week, I focused on readiness and the deployers that we have sent out the door in the spring. Commander's inspection program, unit self-assessments, and utilizing those tools in order to make our wing better, so I'm certainly looking forward to that. Tomorrow, I'll be up with the General, welcoming some of our Polish friends, again, state partnership program and priorities for that. And then looking ahead tomorrow, myself and all of the squadron commanders, group commanders, we're going to be on site developing our wing strategy and the way forward for all of us. We hope to publish that January 1st for all of us, and then we'll be off and running, marching all in the same direction. So it goes without saying, but I think this was the perfect first month of any command, and I couldn't have asked for anything better to hear things about our federal mission, our state mission, partnerships, the deployments, to meet many of you, to talk with all of the leadership. What else I missed? Our nuclear mission, everything. So an amazing first month, and I'm looking forward to at least 35 more months, I think is what I have left on my contract. So thank you all again for being here. Thank you. I am truly humbled and honored and excited to lead this great wing. So thank you.
Colonel Henschel will now receive his first salute as the wing commander. Colonel Henschel, the men and women of the 126th Air Refueling Wing are honored to have you as our new commander and look forward to serving under your leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Please stay and congratulate Colonel Henschel, Colonel Jacobs, and their families here in the